Today we're going to be replacing the screen on this iPhone 8. We're going to get started really quickly here by removing the two pentalobe screws at the bottom. Then we're going to use a razor blade just to make a small opening at the bottom of the device before we get the guitar pick in there between the bezel and the frame. Next we're going to carefully open up the phone, a bit like a book but in reverse. Watch out for those flex cables, and now unscrew the 4 small Phillips screws. Take away that plate, disconnect the battery with a plastic spudger, and then disconnect the 2 flex cables for the LCD and home button. Next, there's 3 more Phillips screws up the top here. Unscrew those and take away this plate, then disconnect the front sensor and ear speaker flex. It's really important to clean up the frame really nicely here. Use a plastic spudger and a Q-tip soaked in isopropyl alcohol. Just clean out any dust inside the frame with a new toothbrush. And now we're ready to apply the new water resistant and dustproof seal. We don't guarantee for water resistance, but this really helps it. Take away the first layer. That's more like a guide for it to sit down properly. And then we've got 5 more Phillips screws holding down the ear speaker and front camera. Lift the front camera up and take out the ear speaker. And then we're going to apply some heat to the ear speaker. I don't think this needed it too much because it had already been replaced before. Now for the tricky home button. There's 4 Y000 screws. Remove them and remove the plate, then disconnect the FPC connector. Apply a little bit more heat. Then we're going to put the tweezers underneath the flex, pry it up slowly, and pop it out. This screen had already been replaced in the past, so there was no True Tone data in the phone. We couldn't transfer it on this occasion. I'm going to be using these Platinum Pro screens from Exquisite Parts. Thanks to Sanjay at TechPoint Distribution. I always find this bit a little bit fiddly, just because you have to make sure that flex sits perfectly in place before you install the ear speaker and then attach the front camera. Make sure it's held down with the bracket. It's important to get the screws in the right order here, because a long screw can cause damage to the screen and make it fragile. Once those 5 screws are installed again, we're going to move on to the home button, where we poke it through from the front side of the screen, lift back the connectors, and make sure it sits down nicely. There are a couple of little pins that make sure that it's in line properly, and sometimes you have to just nudge the FPC connector to get it in place properly. Place the shield over the button and install the 4 Y000 screws. Always remove any protective peels on the LCD or the shield. Then connect the 3 LCD connectors. Reinstall all the plates that we took off in the first place. Make sure all the screws go back where they belong. Finally, the LCD shield. Four screws here. Remove the final film of the screen adhesive. And then slide the screen into place from the top. Then crunch the sides down. Lastly, turn the phone on. Install the two pentalobe screws at the bottom. Quick test before removing the peel, and that's another job done. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this.